There's a lot of debate online about Carl Jung's type, especially whether he was an INTP or INFJ. So let's clear this up carefully, historically, and with quotes. First, the most important clarification. Carl Jung did not type himself as INTP in the modern MBTI sense. That claim is a retrospective assignment people make after the fact. Jung described cognitive functions, not 16 personality types. He did not use function stacks the way MBTI does. He did not use MBTI letters at all, and he wrote decades before INTP, INFJ, and the rest existed as formal types. So when someone said Jung typed himself as INTP, what they actually mean is that later MBTI interpreters projected that label onto him. Now, what did Jung say about himself? Jung explicitly identified as introverted intuitive. That's not internet lore, this is his own writing. In Memories, Dreams, Reflections, he states, I am by nature an introverted intuitive, and it was therefore difficult for me to understand the mentality of thinking types. That sentence alone rules out a dominant introverted thinking pattern. He also says in the same work, my thinking was not autonomous, but was subordinate to my intuition. That's not introverted thinking leading perception. That's thinking serving intuition. Jung did not lead with logic and then explore meaning. He perceived meaning first and only then used thinking to articulate it. That is introverted intuitive dominance. Now let's take a look at psychological types, volume 6 of the collected works. Jung does not say, I am type X anywhere in the book, but he repeatedly contradicts his own psychology with introverted thinking types, especially in his conflicts with Freud. In section 667, he describes the introverted intuitive as someone oriented towards inner images, archetypal patterns, and symbolic meaning rather than objective facts or logical systems. He later notes that this orientation was his own natural mode and that it caused repeated misunderstandings with colleagues who demanded proof rather than meaning. That brings us to the second part people argue about, feeling. Jung is very clear that his inferior function was sensation, not feeling. Again, this matters structurally. In Memories, Dreams, Reflections, he says, sensation was the function I found most difficult to integrate. If sensation is inferior, then sensation is the opposite of the dominant function. That gives you dominant introverted feeling, inferior sensation. That structure aligns with introverted intuition supported by extroverted feeling, not introverted thinking supported by extroverted intuition. Jung also consistently emphasized ethical responsibility, the feeling value of symbols, the danger of one-sided intellect without soul. Those are auxiliary extroverted feeling themes, even when feeling is not overtly emotional or expressive. So the careful, accurate way to say this is Carl Jung explicitly identified himself as introverted intuitive and described his thinking as subordinate to intuition. His inferior function was sensation, not feeling, which structurally excludes INTP. Modern MBTI labels did not exist in his framework. The reason people mistake him for a thinking dominant type is simple. They see intellect and assume introverted thinking. But Jung's intellect served meaning. It did not lead it. And that distinction is the entire foundation of his work.